My journey has been 17 years. My family had gone to a family reunion. We got off a shuttle and I stepped down, and this pain just exploded. My daughter was beginning college, and I was determined to see her graduate. I had life to look forward to. So even though the diagnosis was bleak initially, there have been advances in therapies, and I've continued to be positive about it. When I was first diagnosed, one of the things that really stood out was the pain in my hip. My family had gone to a family reunion. We got off a shuttle and I stepped down, and this pain just exploded. My family went and got a wheelchair for me. That week I was in the doctor's office and the process of being diagnosed began. My journey has been 17 years, and my daughter was beginning college, her undergraduate process at the University of Georgia. And I was determined to see her graduate. I have since seen her graduate 4 times with her doctorate. I was just determined that my family needed me, I needed them. I was determined that I didn't want to have a defeatist attitude. I wasn't woeful at the beginning. I really never was. I just needed to understand what it was that I had and how do we navigate this, because it's a process. And they were encouraging, they were supportive at every treatment. And I learned that through illness, you build some resilience. You have to build resilience. And I had things to look forward to. I had life to look forward to. So even though the diagnosis was bleak initially, there have been advances in therapies, and I've continued to be positive about it. As such, I've continued to be involved and go back to school and do all the things that you do when you're not thinking about, what's going to happen. When's the end near? I never thought that. For me to learn about the disease, for my family to learn about the disease, and then we researched on our own. I became involved with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and they have a division, I'll call it Myeloma Link. And so my involvement with Myeloma Link took me into the community as a community volunteer to different events, fairs, churches. They were in sorority and fraternity meetings, just explaining what myeloma was about, how you should continue to take care of your health. So my initial involvement didn't come until, I want to say 2018, 19, something like that. But I had the material, and I continued to research and continued to read. And I decided after my stem cell transplant that I need to become a little bit more engaging with my own health as well as the community. And so I went to a conference and I spoke with one of the representatives about volunteering, and the rest is history because I went through some training and such and shadowed one or two people, one or two volunteers, and I got involved. He talked to us about this new therapy. We agreed to it. It occurred after one of my graduations. I pushed it back a little bit because I wanted to walk across the stage, which I did, and we went into the hospital. I was in for about a week. I came out, and I think I was fine for about 3 years, 2 or 3 years. I had to go back into treatment, but it was explained to me that this CAR T re-engineering of your T cells is the latest and greatest, and I felt fine, and really still do. I'm back in therapy now, getting a different treatment, but I'm nowhere near as ill as I was. The only anxiety that I experienced through my journey was getting the stem cell transplant. And 17 years ago, when I was receiving 3 different drugs twice a week for 6 months, part of that journey was, I think, week 6 or 7, I was to go into the hospital and get this stem cell transplant. I reacted positively to the treatment initially. I remember very distinctly that my stem cells were extracted on my birthday in 2008. After all the paperwork and the discussions about how this was going to play out, I was just downright scared of this stem cell treatment. It was explained that you go into the hospital and you just get this massive dose of chemotherapy, bald, just, grueling. And I remember asking my oncologist, well, what will this do? Week 6, what will this do? And he looked at my blood work and he said, well, it will get you to where you are now, which was the count was 0. Myeloma count wasn't showing up. So I said, well, I don't want it. They froze the cells, and I didn't receive my stem cell transplant until 10 years later because I had reacted so positively to the treatments that were being administered to me. So I was happy about that, but that was the only time that I was really scared about receiving some form of treatment. It was fulfilling. It was fulfilling for me. It was something that I challenged myself through this journey. And at the end of the road, I was going to walk across the stage. The idea that I was going to have to go back into treatment at the same time I was going to go graduate, I said, well, this is something I really want to do. And I asked, was that possible? And they said, oh, absolutely. They rescheduled me for all the preliminary work that has to be done for about 3 weeks. So I was able to graduate and come back and then go into the hospital. I graduated with honors with my doctorate, and I was really proud of myself. My family was really proud of me. Um, and that just speaks to being determined to do your best and just not succumbing to the myeloma, just not saying, oh, I don't feel well, so because I don't feel well, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that. That's never been my makeup. And I wanted to prove something to myself that, oh, with all the different moving parts that I had going on, I can still get this done. And I did. Move past pettiness. You move past when you're diagnosed with cancer, you look at the bigger picture. You look at what is important. You look at what life is about, accomplishments. I mean, sure, there'll be ups and downs and heartaches and all the things that one would experience when you're not afflicted with a disease. But you learn to appreciate the beauty of just small things. And so I think I've learned to discover, okay, what else is next? What else can I do? How can I help? How can I give back? And you start thinking about that. And even when I was at different events with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, the public as a whole would come up to the table, and you have giveaways and things like that. And I was the example of how you can continue to move through the disease. And I shared that because I was being asked questions, and I didn't go in depth, but I let them know. I raised my hand. I'm a myeloma patient, have been for X amount of years, and you can move through it, not necessarily past it, but you can move through it with a sense of pride that I am a survivor, and I will continue to keep on surviving for as long as I can. Remain positive. Remain positive. Be your own advocate. Understand what you're going through. Ask the tough questions that you may not want to hear the answers to. Learn what it is that may be available to you. But the idea of positivity is the key. As I mentioned earlier, you don't want to come into this journey with a defeatist attitude. You just need to keep your chin up, strive for something, appreciate life, and its beauty. Love your family, tell everybody that you love them. Just live your life. Don't worry about it. Worry about it, but live your life.